What if I told you that the very thing most men hide, avoid, or feel embarrassed to talk about, masturbation, might actually be the key to protecting not just your prostate, but your entire sexual health as you get older? I'm talking about real changes to your body, to your penis. And no, this isn't some internet myth or locker room story. It's based on real biology and backed by science. It's something no man over 60 should ignore. Because the truth is, doing nothing, just letting time and age take over, can cost you more than you realize. Let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Hassan, a men's health expert with more than 30 years of clinical experience, helping older men all over the country. I've sat across from men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s who all believe the same thing: that sexual health fades with age and there's nothing they can do. But they were wrong. And once they learned the actual science behind what was happening in their bodies, their confidence and health changed in big ways. Here's what most men don't know: your penis is still working, still reacting, and still trying to do its job, even if it doesn't feel like it. But it needs help. It needs stimulation. And when you give it that, something amazing happens. You trigger systems in your body that keep blood flowing, tissues healthy, hormones in balance, and your prostate clean and working well. This isn't just about pleasure, it's about protection. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 specific things that happen to your penis when you masturbate in your later years. The 5th one is so surprising, most doctors don't even mention it. But trust me, it could change the way you age, how you feel, and how you live. Before we jump in, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time. Also, turn on the bell so you don't miss more videos made just for men like you. If this topic speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 and let me know how I can better support your health going forward. Now that you see why this matters, let's look at the first big change that happens to your penis when you masturbate. And it's one most men miss completely. It all begins with something your body depends on more than you think: blood flow. Improved blood flow. Your penis gets a boost in circulation. I still remember when a 68-year-old patient looked at me and asked, "Is it too late for me to care about this?" He meant erections, his manhood, and feeling like himself again. I told him the truth. It's never too late, but it does take some effort and knowledge. One of the biggest things we forget as we get older is how important blood flow is to sexual health. Not just for getting or keeping an erection, but for keeping the tissues in the penis alive and strong. As we age, our arteries don't work the same. Blood vessels stiffen, blood flow slows, and the smallest vessels, like the ones that supply blood to the penis, are often the first to suffer. But here's what many men don't know. Regular sexual activity, including masturbation, can actually help blood flow improve in that area. Every time you're aroused, every time you climax, your body sends a wave of blood through the pelvic area. That process isn't just about feeling good, it's about keeping the tissues alive. When blood enters the penis, it brings oxygen, nutrients, and energy to the erectile chambers, called the corpus cavernosum. This isn't just biology, it's how things work. Without that regular flow of blood, those tissues can break down. They can weaken, and yes, the penis can even shrink. But when you stay sexually active, even on your own, you keep that system running. You keep using the patterns your body was designed for. This isn't about ego or trying to prove anything. It's about protecting what's still yours. I've seen men in their 70s get their confidence and energy back, not because of some magic pill, but because they started paying attention to their bodies and treating themselves with care. The action may be simple, but the result is strong. Better blood flow means better function, more health, more energy, and a clear message to your body that you're still alive, still involved, still fighting for yourself. And this is just the start, because after that blood flows through, what your body clears out next is just as important. And resets is where the real surprise lies. Let me show you what I mean. If you're still here and this message is resonating with you, go ahead and type the number 1 in the comments, just to let me know you're still with me on this journey. Now, let's keep going and dive into the second key change you need to know. 2. Ejaculation helps flush the system, preventing blockages and pain. There's something most men don't talk about, but I hear it all the time behind closed doors. A dull ache in the testicles, a sense of pressure in the lower abdomen, or that strange, uncomfortable feeling of fullness that you can't quite explain. It's not always pain, but it's enough to make you worry. And when I ask how often they're ejaculating, the answer is often, it's been a while. That's when I explain what's really happening inside the body. As a man ages, the fluid systems of the reproductive tract, the prostate, seminal vesicles, and surrounding structures can slow down. These glands produce and store the fluid that becomes semen. And like any system that stores fluid, if it's not cleared out regularly, things can back up. Stagnant fluids lead to inflammation, discomfort, and sometimes even infection. The body isn't designed to hold on to old material indefinitely. When you masturbate and reach climax, you're not just releasing tension or enjoying a moment of pleasure. You're performing an essential biological function. Ejaculation clears out built up seminal fluid. It keeps the pathways open and functioning. Think of it like flushing the pipes in a house. If you don't run water through the system for too long, pressure builds, sediment collects, and eventually the whole thing can clog or break down. I've had patients come back after a few weeks of regular ejaculation, something they hadn't prioritized in years, and tell me that the heaviness they'd felt for so long was gone, that they felt lighter, cleaner, and more in tune with their bodies. That's not coincidence. That's biology responding to consistency. Ignoring this part of your health because of shame, age, or outdated beliefs doesn't protect you. It sets you up for discomfort and potential medical issues like chronic prostatitis or enlarged prostate symptoms. Regular ejaculation, even through solo activity, is a simple, effective way to reduce your risk. So, no, you're not too old for this. In fact, your body might be asking for it, subtly, quietly, but persistently. But while release helps cleanse the system, there's something else happening in the background. Something deeper, hormonal, and tied to how you think, feel, and even how you heal. And that change, it all begins in the brain. Let's explore what that really means. 3. Hormonal harmony. A natural boost of testosterone and endorphins. One of the most overlooked aspects of aging in men isn't what happens to the body, it's what happens to the mind. I've had patients sit across from me, not complaining about pain or dysfunction, but about something harder to describe. I just don't feel like myself anymore, they say. I feel flat, disconnected, like something's missing. And more often than not, what they're experiencing is a shift in hormones, a quiet, gradual change that affects mood, energy, even their sense of identity. What most people don't realize is that sexual activity, even solo, has a profound impact on your hormone levels. Masturbation isn't just about release, it's a reset. When you engage in regular sexual stimulation and reach climax, your brain triggers a hormonal cascade that affects every part of your being. Testosterone rises, dopamine floods the reward centers of the brain. Oxytocin, sometimes called the bonding hormone, spikes, helping you feel more connected, calmer, more grounded. And then there are the endorphins, your body's natural painkillers and mood elevators. These aren't just pleasant side effects. They're part of your biology's way of regulating emotional health, stress response, and even physical healing. In a world where so many older men struggle with anxiety, depression, or a loss of drive, this natural hormonal shift can be a lifeline. I've had men in their 60s and 70s tell me that after reconnecting with their bodies through regular masturbation, they felt more present in their lives, more capable, more alive. The key here is balance. You're not trying to chase some high. You're working with your body to restore the chemical signals it was always meant to receive. The kind that tells your brain, you're still here, you still matter, you're still whole. And that message, delivered through a simple, private act, can ripple through every part of your day. Better sleep, sharper focus, less irritability, more motivation. It may not sound like much, but over time, these small shifts add up to something powerful. So, yes, the body responds, but the mind transforms. And once that clarity returns, something else becomes possible: strength. Because the next change isn't just about how you feel, it's about what your body can still do. And you might be surprised just how much control you still have. If you're still watching and these insights are striking a chord with you, type the number 1 in the comments to let me know you're here and engaged. Now let's keep moving forward with point number 4. 4. Pelvic floor training. Stronger erections through muscle activation. There's a moment I'll never forget. A man in his early 70s came to see me, quiet and reserved. He didn't complain at first. He hesitated, as many do, but eventually he looked at me and said, "Doctor, I can still feel everything, but it's like my body can't follow through anymore." That moment stuck with me because he wasn't alone. What he was describing wasn't just about aging or hormones, it was about the deep muscles we rarely think about: the pelvic floor. Most men don't realize that every time they reach climax, their pelvic floor muscles are actively working. These muscles, the same ones you use to stop the flow of urine midstream, contract rhythmically to support ejaculation. Over time, like any unused muscle, they weaken if not engaged. And that's where the trouble begins. Weaker pelvic floor muscles can mean softer erections, reduced control, and even urinary leakage. But the good news is, you can train them. And masturbation surprisingly plays a role in that process. When you masturbate regularly, you're not just maintaining circulation or hormonal balance, you're activating and exercising the very muscles that support your sexual function. It's not unlike a workout. You're strengthening the connection between mind, muscle, and performance. Some men even regain control they thought was lost simply by re engaging this part of their body. This isn't about trying to be young again. It's about getting your function back. It's about showing yourself that your body still works and that your strength hasn't fully disappeared. In fact, research has shown that men who regularly use their pelvic floor muscles can see better firmness and even longer lasting erections. At first, it's a small change, but after a few weeks or months, your body starts to react. The tissue gets firmer, your control improves, and that quiet confidence returns. And believe me, feeling confident in your body at this stage of life isn't just a bonus, it's essential. It affects how you walk, how you carry yourself, and how you see who you are. But strength isn't the final part of this journey. What's coming next is something most men never hear about. And it might be the most important discovery of all. Because it's not only about keeping things working, it's about protecting yourself from long-term problems you didn't expect. Let's go deeper. I once had a patient. He was 74, smart and proud, but came in feeling frustrated. It's like both my body and mind are slowing down, he said, and I'm worried about what's next. That fear is more common than most men admit, and it makes sense. As we age, every system in the body starts to slow down, especially the ones we've always depended on. But here's what I told him, and what I want you to know. Regular ejaculation, even through masturbation, may help protect your health in ways nobody talks about. It's more than just sex. Ejaculating regularly helps your body release nitric oxide, a natural chemical that keeps blood vessels flexible and supports stronger, more reliable erections. Even more importantly, it helps lower harmful substances in your body. One's linked not only to erectile issues, but also to brain conditions like memory loss and mental decline. Yes, what happens down there affects what happens up here. Solo sexual activity lights up parts of the brain that control memory, focus, and emotions. In some cases, it even eases anxiety and helps you sleep better. Think about that. A private act many older men feel awkward about could be helping your health more than most medicines can. And don't forget the emotional weight of ED, how it quietly wears down your confidence, intimacy, and relationships. Many men silently accept it as part of getting older, but research now shows that staying sexually active, even just with yourself, helps delay or lessen these problems. No, it's not a miracle cure, but it's a simple habit that adds up. It keeps your body in rhythm, giving it the chance to keep doing what it was built for. That's something many men never hear. Your body is still fighting for you if you let it. But this isn't just about body parts or avoiding illness. This next part, this last message, is one I hope every man listens to. Because now we're not talking about science or blood flow or muscles, we're talking about dignity. I want to speak to you man to man. Let me pause here, not as a doctor, but as someone on your side. If you've made it this far in the video, I know something about you. You care. You're not ready to give up. And maybe, like so many other men I've met, you've quietly wondered if this still matters, if you still matter. Let me say this clearly. You absolutely do. I've seen too many good men slowly give in to the idea that aging means stepping aside, giving up, or disappearing. But look at you. Still searching, still listening, still showing up for yourself. That says more than you know. The truth is, we don't talk enough about what it's like to grow older as a man. At first, it's small things, less energy, less drive, more quiet moments. And slowly, you start to wonder if you're fading, not just in body, but in spirit. But here's the truth. You're not fading. You're changing. And you still have more power, more choice, and more life in you than you think. Taking care of your sexual health isn't about holding on to the past. It's about owning your present. It's about knowing that it's okay to feel, to care, and to pay attention to your body without guilt. If that starts with something as simple as reconnecting with yourself through masturbation, then that's perfectly fine. You're not broken. You're not too late. You're still here. And that means there's still time to get stronger, to heal, and to grow. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. And every small step you take is a message to your body and your mind. You're still in this. You're still part of the story. You're still choosing yourself one step at a time. And if you've been with me through these 5 changes, there's one last thing I want to leave you with. A thought that could shift the way you see everything. Because this isn't just about staying healthy. It's about what kind of life you want to leave behind. So here we are. You've now heard the 5 ways masturbation can affect your health as you get older. Better blood flow, less buildup and discomfort, more balanced hormones, stronger pelvic muscles, and even help avoiding ED and memory loss. But beyond the facts, I hope you've taken something more from this. Because this talk wasn't just about body parts or performance or age, it was about you. I've had the honor of helping men face aging with strength, worry, hope, and bravery. And here's what I've learned. When you stay connected to your body, when you care for yourself without shame and with purpose, something amazing happens. You stop drifting. You come back to your life with focus and presence. Your story isn't done. In fact, this chapter right now could be your most steady, powerful, and self-aware one yet. So take what you've heard today and let it remind you, your body still works for you, and you can still work with it. Aging isn't the end. Sometimes it's the start of something even deeper. Take care of yourself. You've earned it.